Hi Capricorn, here is a general look at your solar chart for June 2015. There's a real earthy, practical feel to this month, and as you are an earth sign, so it's most of the month. It shifts from the 22nd into, it's got an area, sort of more intellectual vibe to it, but yeah, it's about dealing with chores, niggly details, the to-do lists, maybe better diet, exercise regime, keeping in mind schedules, deadlines, timetables, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's about maintenance, repairs, maybe it's about colleagues, the job, the employment market. It can be these sorts of areas, service providers. It's also you there being of service to someone else, or being the servant to some project or ideology or whatever. But just getting things organized better would be the kind of feel of this energy here, and also going and getting that checkup maybe as well, or maybe it's not for yourself, maybe it's for someone else. So Mercury's also in the same area along with Mars, and this means that here, you know, you've got to apply yourself, you've got to apply your skill, and if you don't have that skill, this is the time to learn it. And maybe you haven't planned to learn it, but if something, you know, I don't know, falls out of your car, or like your exhaust or something, maybe you just have to quickly buy a packet of something and learn how to, or maybe you've got to replace a tire, or, you know, that is a kind of an unstaged, unplanned little learning there. Perhaps somebody just is going to help you get, I don't know, the fuel cap off your fuel tank because it's stuck, or the key isn't working. So this is the kind of vibration that's going on, and it's also to do with health providers. It's also to do with alternative health, and the like. And collaborations can be productive, and you can achieve success with someone. But you need to choose carefully, or if you don't get a chance to choose, just try and be a bit patient, because somebody's method, or maybe somebody is just being tardy, you know, they're not coming up to your standard, and anyway, just try to keep your cool. Mercury will be going backwards until the 11th, and so therefore when Mercury is in this area, which is linked to Mercury energy anyway, then you find that you could, you know, you can use this slower moving energy to deal with the details of daily life, and maybe revise, reorganize, get your head around new information, you know, which is maybe technological or whatever, and getting things set up, running more smoothly. And then when Mercury turns direct from the 11th, glitches should begin to smooth out, and you can get things more how you want them to be. Right, so we have then Venus just into the first week, until nearly the end of the first week, very strong, coming out of her own house. So she is really favoring affairs of the heart, or if not that, then one-to-one sort of work with another. Are you feeling a better rapport with somebody? So say you've decided to switch health provider or something like that, and this is more likely to be, if you do this under the Venus transit, which has been going on since around about mid-May, you could do, you know, you could find the right person. And another way this works, a special someone can come into your life. It's a boost to your love life, but generally you feel a rapport with somebody who you're working with, somebody you click with, or maybe it is, you know, in a romantic sense as well, but you tend to enjoy others' company now. And then Venus moves into the next house, which is going to be the 8th house, and there she will join Jupiter, who's already been in that house. And this is an extremely long transit. It's unusual for Venus to stay longer than 3 weeks, but here she's going to be staying until October. So from June the 6th, Venus is actually in an area which I think is probably powerfully transformational for you. And you Capricorns could do with a break. All of you cardinal signs could do with a break because of what's been going on with this long-running transit, which is behind all of the change and the meltdown and the shake-ups and the reversals and then the kind of full starts and then restarting that's going on across the world. And this transit is along with Jupiter, because Jupiter, so whatever's going on for you, whether it's to do with work, relationships, where you live, money, health, career, school, you know, education, creativity, whatever's going on now, you're likely to feel that this energy is going to allow, it's almost like a powerful, it's and some of the audience will understand this, a powerful surge, which is like almost a muscular surge to do with contractions in labor, but without the pain. So you've had the epidural. No, there might be a little bit, because of course you are also going through the Pluto and Capricorn thing, okay? But it could, this is, I see this as a kind of a trump card or a cushioning energy. So a really good card in a pack which is kind of average, or rather sort of a hand which is kind of average, you could say, or a kind of cushioning energy, a buffering energy, because this these two planets, which are largely benign energies but tend to be on the positive side, are in your area of transformation, evolution, moving from one stretch of road to the next. So even though you could be struggling because of the Uranian and the Plutonic energies affecting your sun, particularly Pluto, which is could be going across your sun or very near your sun or another of the planets, this energy here. So this is an emotional area, and Venus here will deepen and mature your feelings. It can mean actually that you feel as though somebody very special comes into your life at this time, or it can mean that you feel more support coming from friends, loved ones. You can feel deeply touched by someone, or it might be that if you need funding, if you need investment, if you need interest in your project or whatever you're doing, or if you just need help in an everyday kind of a way, material help, or you need to maximize your chances to have a more lucrative sort of turnover and feed the piggy bank, then this transit, and often through a partner or through a colleague or through a friend or through somebody that you click with socially, this transit is likely to be able to deliver that support to you, whether it's emotional or material, with resource or money or equipment or venue, or, you know, putting in a good word which leads to something, because it is such a long transit and it is going along with Jupiter. So possibly this month, but definitely, I would say definitely, okay. It always depends on how well we play these energies, because I see this as a weather forecast. It's subtle, it's vibrational, but it's weather. And it's just a normal part of nature. So you need to you need to capitalize on the resource. And this is the area that you should be putting yourself into environments, knocking on the doors, asking, just getting yourself kind of in the exposure, or you know, if you don't ask, you don't get, you know. So this is the time when your cards could be, you know, you could have a good hand of cards, but you need to play them wisely. So Venus here could also manifest as a relationship which you are in this with someone and you're both equally passionate about achieving this goal, or it's a reciprocal relationship. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, that kind of relationship with them. And you can do very well out of this relationship. So some of you may feel like maybe going against what you felt or thought before, but some of you could feel like shifting into more commitment in a material or an emotional sense, and you know, pooling your resources with somebody else, but also letting them do what they're good at, and then you keep your side of the bargain. This is also about, you know, outside agencies who may be able to help, sort of like banks and yeah, I'm not going to really say credit card companies, but outside agencies like mortgage brokers and the like. Again, this is a good time to take a chance. You know, ask, try and find out. And if you don't get the answer you want from one, try another. Or it can be anything else. It doesn't have to be about financial things, okay? It can be about health things. It can be about to do with education, your career, your creativity. Or it can be about any number of things. So, and there might be a need to share a space, or to collaborate, or to compromise. So you might have to let go of something in order to really allow and open your arms wide to what this energy system, this weather system can deliver to you. Okay, so now we've got the sun moving on the 22nd, and the sun is going into your opposite sign along with Mars on the 25th. So this is you teaming up, this is you feeling the support or the contribution of another. This is not a time to be going it alone. This is the time to be a dynamic duo, to do business with someone. But or it might be just, you know, because of the position of Venus, making quite a sizzly potential, and also maybe even deepening your feelings for somebody. And it might not be in a romantic sense. It might be to do with family members, or it might be to do with animals or nature or something else that you really feel as though you have a deep connection with. In fact, some of you may get interested in beyond the veil. Some of you may get interested in what lies beyond, or what is underneath something, and wanting to kind of get to the bottom of it. Some of you may have more of that kind of occult awareness coming in now. So really, really, I urge you to listen to your intuition, because it will be just that little notch up on the volume now. And I say now, I mean this is for this month and a few months to come. So you and another could be bonding over this period here. But Mars, of course, likes to cross swords. I mean, this is feisty Mars, always, you know, so I would say just have to be patient, not be too hasty, not to handle a situation or someone badly. And so then you're screwing up their goodwill there. And even though you feel it strongly, you know, try to just keep a cool head and don't dive into any kind of relationship or work kind of collaboration before thinking it through a bit, you know, and keeping your feet on the ground, which you're pretty good at doing, but I just thought I'd mention it. Now then, Saturn has moved, well, will move on the 14th and goes back into the previous sign, Scorpio, which puts Saturn once again in a really good angle, facilitating you through group alliances, facilitating you through networking, really cultivating contacts, but doing it slowly, gradually, finding your level in the hierarchy about how, you know, how things are going to work here. Maybe you feeling disenchanted or just unconvinced by the way things were set up before or within that particular group, and then slowly finding your level within another circle or setup with other associations. Or maybe you just have to work hard at moving things around within that first lot of associations or organization or club or society or neighborhood or community or family. It's just a kind of a collective of some kind. So, but this position of Saturn does bode well for progress, albeit slow progress. It's progress. So steady as you go forwards. You Capricorns born the 22nd to the 24th of December, or 19th to 20th of January, or with 0 to 2 or 28 to 29 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this month. Jupiter, I've mentioned in this cycle of putting a beneficial emphasis into your joint financial area, but also you kind of, you know, in the carriage, jointly holding the reins with like 2 horses or a team of horses. You know, you're sharing that with the other driver there. So it's not just you alone here. This is you driving the thing or steering the thing in the company of another, or being helped and supported by another, cushioned by another, and you know, picking up the threads where you left off, sort of thing. It's also an area to do with inheritance. So you might feel as though you've inherited a situation, or indeed it can be like a windfall, that kind of thing. I would say more than ever, with Venus in there, it's almost like, oh, I didn't realize, you know, it just looked like some sort of old thing made of metal, and actually if I scrape off the surface there's gold underneath. That sort of kind of feeling. And you can find that maybe a different setup, financial strategy, maybe a different arrangement within an agreement or a contract, whatever it is, or indeed putting your signature to a new agreement or contract, I think is probably a good time for you to be doing that. And anything like that started under a Venus transit it bodes well for it anyway. You Capricorns born the 5th, all other things considered, well, as much as we can consider other things, but you Capricorns born the 5th to the 12th of January, or with 15 to 22 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. Jupiter's in there till August, and Venus is in there until October. So now Uranus, you Capricorns born the 8th to the 11th of January, or with 18 to 21 degrees, you're going to have that big shaking energy, that energy of unpredictability, and maybe, you know, just living on your wits a little bit the most this month. And Pluto, of course, is in your sign. You Capricorns born the 5th to the 7th of January, with 14 to 17 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this month. And I'll say 4th to the 7th of January, you'll feel it the most, or 14 to 17 degrees rising. And this is you slowly understanding that you have to let go of your old way of being, because change is afoot and it's kind of bubbling up inside of you, even though you are being ultra uber sensitive and sticking to your guns and hanging on tight. This is the time, the defining moment in a way, huge crossroads time, where you have to understand that you're being kind of stripped right down to your very, very that basic values, and then slowly this regeneration, this rebirthing, this pecking out of the old egg and coming into this huge new world where you were such a little tiny thing, whereas before you were so huge because you were just in this little tiny egg shell. and then learning how to play the game and learning the ropes in this new world. Fascinating time. That's it. If you know your rising sign, your moon sign, listen to those. And also this is all written up on my website if you want to check on anything. And I'll see you the next time.